Hey, good morning. Welcome again to Lee's Air Commercial Corner. I'm your host, Jeff Stamps, with the commercial manager here at Lee's, and I'm excited to have my friend and coworker, Josue Solis, here today. And he's given me the opportunity just to kind of ask him some questions about who he is and what he does here. And so I'm just going to kind of get into that this morning with you a little bit, Josue. We did a fun thing where I didn't give him any idea what I was going to ask him this morning, so we can just be spontaneous. But we'll just kind of go. So good morning, Josue.
Good morning, Jeff. Appreciate you inviting me over to this podcast.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
So am I. So
Yeah.
I want to take a minute and introduce Josue. Very educated young man. Been around the world a little bit, and I know he's got a master's in business, and really is an important, valuable piece of our business here at Lee's. Josue has a dual role. He's the operations manager, but he also is in charge of marketing. He's our marketing director, marketing manager, which is exciting because I know as I travel around the city and I talk to people and you know, they see that I work for Lee's, one of the first things I hear is, wow, I see your guys' trucks everywhere, and I see your billboards, and I hear your radio commercials, and I hear your television. I see your television commercials, and I just wanted to show the guy behind all that, because Josue is the driver behind pretty much all of our marketing now, and it's exciting. You know, we've grown a lot together in our marketing over the last few years, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we definitely have grown quite a bit. I've been with Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating for over 5 years now, and I actually started as an HR manager.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first started, we were at 50 employees, and now we're over 150. So quite a bit of growth.
Did you say 15 or 50?
50, 50.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember when it was 15.
Yeah. It's exciting, right? One thing I've learned is you're growing or you're dying, right? We've had a lot of growth and been very lucky to be a part of it and adapting and evolving to those things that help us penetrate the market.
Yeah. So what would you say your main goal is to get this marketing material out there into the community?
Yeah, well, the big thing is brand awareness, right? And one thing we did 3 years ago was we actually rebranded. I don't know if you remember the old logo, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I've actually seen the logo before that logo, which the corporate name of Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating is Lee's Accutech Service, right? And I've seen the yard signs. I've seen the signs that you and Tom did way back in the day when the recession was happening in 2008, and you guys posted all these signs, all these empty commercial lots, and yeah, I'm excited with the new brand. 3 years in, people say they see our trucks everywhere. I mean, they see our billboards everywhere. They see our commercials, and no, it's exciting. What I've learned is, you know, people want to do business with people that they can know, trust, and like, right? Yeah. And what I recognized is, you know, people don't buy companies; they buy the people in the company.
Sure.
And we've done a good job of highlighting our employees, and people get excited every time they see the person that's on the billboard or the person that's on the commercials. And at the end of the day, it's us, it's people that do well and highlighting what we provide.
Yeah. I wanted to just point this out really quick. And I actually did this when I was talking with James last week. James, if you remember from last podcast, our asset manager is kind of like our local celebrity. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Local celebrity, because he's in a lot of our print media and a lot of our television stuff. But I know that a lot of competitors, companies, etc., use actors. They use the network actors, etc. But we use our own people. Yeah. I was thinking about that last night as I was preparing to chat with you today. I haven't heard or seen anything that wasn't our own people. You know, I saw every day I see new content that you and Andres put onto our social media sites. And being a fan of social media, I'm always looking and excited to see new stuff. And oh yeah, there's Amanda from our service techs, and there's one of our plumbers, and there's one of our warehousemen. And I really like the fact that you highlight our people, and and that, for lack of being corny, just keeping it real.
Yeah. Well, what's funny with that is we actually did an A and B test on Facebook. On It was a Valentine's campaign, and we put James and another HVAC technician on there. And what was interesting to see was James got a lot of awareness behind his campaign. So we recognized that people like James.
Yeah.
People want to see James, and obviously that does change over time. And that's the reason why we move forward with James, is because it's really cool to see that people attract more to his look. And no, that was a lot of fun. Another thing too, I like how you mentioned, we display our team members, our people on those campaigns. And I learned this the hard way, and I do see it with some of our competitors is they'll highlight the AC unit, they'll highlight the water heater, and we all do that. Everybody does that. But what makes us different, is our people.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, it's our technician, it's our plumber that goes out there, and they're having that relationship. It's not really the water heater, it's not really the AC unit, it's the people behind the company. And I recognize too, social media is a platform to engage with people. And so it's really hard to get an AC unit, an air conditioning unit, or a water heater to engage with a person, because that's what social media is. I mean, if you look at all the popular,
That's a great point.
Popular profiles, I mean, it's people behind them. And with that too is it's a challenge sometimes trying to get our own team members on there, because they get a little camera shy. Sure. They're not used to kind of the camera on their face. But it's I've noticed you start building momentum, and you want to keep it going. And I know when we started highlighting Jesse, our plumber, and James, our team members got excited, and they're like, hey, I want to be on a billboard. Hey, I want to be in a TV commercial. So it starts getting momentum, and just keeping that momentum and keeping the content fresh and new and relevant to the community.
So tell me a little bit about, not everyone knows we have multiple locations. So
yeah.
We're now up in the Sacramento area, which we're excited to be up there for the last couple of years. And we have a location in Visalia too. What's the struggles and the excitement about working in different cities and different markets?
Yeah, it's really what's our penetration look like in the market, right? For us, Lee's Air in Fresno, I mean, we've been in business for over 40 years. And so people are already seeing our name. They're already seeing our brand. And we have quite a few trucks.
Excuse me.
We have quite a few trucks driving throughout the Central Valley. Where in Sacramento, I mean, we've been there for almost 4 years, I believe. And it's something new that people are starting to recognize, right? And so I recognize, again, going back to, there's momentum that needs to happen. And the hardest part to start is the very beginning, right? Because
Sure.
I always compare it to when you about to launch a spaceship, right? The hardest part to start when you launch a spaceship is the very beginning, right? Where it's going full throttle just to get lift off.
Getting that train moving.
Yeah. And another thing too, it's I recognize that the Sacramento area it's very, very saturated with big competitors. And obviously you're trying to compete with them, right?
Sure.
And obviously their budgets are a lot bigger than ours. And so kind of finding the niche of knowing, okay, where can we execute? Where can we do well? And what I see time and time again, it always comes back to the fundamentals. It's, making sure that we provide good customer service, making sure that the word of mouth gets spread out, making sure our guys are passing out business cards. And one thing that we do really well is because we use Service Tie-In, which is our CRM platform to do business, we can put tracking numbers on certain campaigns. And what I always see perform the best is the referrals, the word of mouth. Mm-hmm. And like I mentioned earlier, people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And when our plumber does a great job, or our air conditioning technician does a great job, I mean, word gets spread out. Like, hey, this is a guy you can rely on. This is a company you can do business with. And recognizing that in the Sacramento area, there is, it takes little by little, right? People always want that fast turn on the switch and at full throttle and don't realize that there's slow progression towards it. And it also applies in digital world too as well. The digital platform with Google, with the website, with SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. It takes little by little. And another thing too that I've learned, it's constantly evolving. You mentioned that I've been doing some schooling, and yeah, I've done some schooling. And I remember I was talking to one of my professors, and she's been doing this for 20 years, the whole digital platform, for 20 years. And she was showing us what the original Google ad looked like and what it looks like now. And it's completely evolved. And I remember one of the books that she gave us to read for the semester, she told me like, hey, like, because it's moving so fast, this book will simply be outdated by the end of this year. And when she mentioned that, she's like, yeah, if you look at it, every year they come out with a new book, just because of how much stuff gets updated. And no, yeah, I got word yesterday that there was a new update on Google. So how do you pivot towards that new update? Because at the end of the day, people search usually on their phones, and I mean, your phone is a computer, right? And a good example is if my wife and I want to go eat somewhere, and somewhere that we just type in, Mediterranean food near me, and
there it is.
There it is, right? I don't know, people nowadays, yes, they still have computers, but I'm not gonna go to my computer and type that in. I can just type it on my phone, and then once I find the spot, hit direction, and then I'm there, right? So.
Yeah, I was going to highlight a little bit. I really love your spot the van spots, and
Yeah.
I noticed. I think you're doing it twice a month now.
So I'm still doing it once a month, but what I'm doing twice a month is the yard sign contest.
Okay. So I see you. Obviously, I get to see you every day.
Yeah.
And our community sees you on some of our spots here and there. But I think I see the most excitement out of you is when you're out there meeting with the customers and delivering an award for them for spotting our van or keeping a yard sign up in your yard, because you need those things to continue to build momentum in the community and to help more people. So how long do you think you'll continue to do that?
For a while, for a long time. Okay. Just because it's one thing I recognize too is people have to see us at least 5 to 7 times to finally recognize who we are, right?
Sure.
And yard signs are a great way to kind of show that you're serving that local neighborhood. And actually, yesterday I drove around town, looked for yard signs. Again, going back to our CRM service time, able to download the list of who has the yard signs and go drive and see if they have them displayed. And no, it's fun because I remember one time, I think this was like a year ago, we did a job at a customer's house when you showed up. Their front neighbor had our old Lee's air sign. You remember that? Yeah, and that was cool to see, right? And there you go, right? You noticed that yard sign that we had
created another customer.
And I have the yard sign displayed at my house. I've had it since I started here at Lee's, and I've seen our ability in my neighborhood where our trucks have rolled out and done some work for our local community, our local neighborhood there. So there is yard signs is a really easy way to kind of show the community that you service that area. And going back to spot the truck, actually got the idea from a company in Vegas that was doing it. And that's another thing too I always tell people is when you roll out something new, you have to test it. And people are very quick, instant gratification of I want this to work right away. And I remember the first 3 months that I ran this, I only got a handful of submissions, and now going 2 years strong into it, I think last time I checked, there was 150 submissions just for this month alone, for the month of May. So it is getting traction.
Yeah,
and it's an easy concept to be a part of, right? Simply take a picture of our truck out in the neighborhood or wherever it's at. Make sure you do it safely, because I do see sometimes some people take pictures while they're driving, but. No, they take a picture and then they upload it onto the post on Facebook, and it's an easy submission. I put them in the list and the drawing, and then once the month's over, usually within the first week of the new month, I'll go live on Facebook, put all their names on this little spin wheel, and they click spin, and then a random winner wins $250. easy contest.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about our billboards. So
All
our
right.
billboards have gotten a little famous over the years. When we first decided that we were going to go that route, our billboards were funny, they were interesting, they were unique, and we had a lot of customer reaction from that. It was really great. And what's really fun about it is a lot of the marketing out there is from Madison Avenue type stuff, where marketing companies are creating stuff for you. But I'll tell you, our billboards that you see out there, and I know this firsthand because I've had a couple that were my idea that ended up on a board because you listen, and a lot of the stuff that goes out there now came from ideas from inside of our location. And I know you're constantly saying, well, bring me the idea, bring me the idea. And I know there's a lot of other people in the company that have brought them as well. And there's some really good ones out there. Our upside down billboards are famous, and some of the other ones with just short little bits of information on there that catch people's attention is fun. And you've come a long ways with that.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer of when you gather a lot of minds together, you can do really great things. Where if it's just me thinking about it, I'm very limited on my time and my space in my brain. But when you have different minds together, you can really do great things. And you're right. I appreciate every time somebody gives me an idea and I jot it down, because we all have great ideas. Yeah. We think thousands of thoughts a day, and just writing them down and executing them is the biggest part of it. Just make sure we execute on them. But no, yeah, I know the one that you gave me the idea of was to have Lee at the end of every
friendly, professionally, timely,
yeah. So we did that, right? Yeah. And that I got that. So what really inspired me on that one was because I respond to all the reviews that come in, and we get a lot of reviews throughout the week, and the most common thing I see was he was professional, he was friendly, he was informative. And those are things that we strive every single time we go out to a customer home, is to educate them, to be professional, to be on time,
to help them.
Yeah. So that was fun. And again, we highlight our team members, right? We highlight people that are going to go out there, and people do get excited when they see that person on the billboard show up to their house. I've talked to Jesse quite a bit, and he's told me, like, yeah, people always get excited when they say, "Are you the guy on the billboard?" Like, yeah, that's me. I'm the guy on the billboard. Oh, you're real? Like, yeah, I'm real.
Yeah.
And to add to the billboards is, we're very lucky to have Tom. Tom's the owner of the company, and he's given a lot of great direction and guidance of, how do you want to be displayed. And you're right. There's a lot of companies out there that have billboards. So how do you differentiate yourself? And that the way you do it is basically just not be normal, right?
Right.
Not be normal, and be above the noise is what I've learned. Be above the noise, and I think our billboards are one of a kind. And I see everybody's billboards. I look at them, and some are pretty cluttered, and some are just your regular. I'm just driving by another billboard that I've seen, and some I've been creative. I've seen some creative one. There's like a local veterinarian place that I've seen that always have creative billboards, which I think is funny. And it's always good to have the reaction of the community of what they think, and they like our billboards.
Yeah, so I know early on when we were deciding to go in the direction the company's been going in, is really growing, one of the fastest growing companies on the West Coast. And I know you and Tom used to travel all over the United States and visit other larger companies and kind of dream about how could we become this company and what do we need to do. So this didn't just fall in your lap. Yeah. I know you guys have visited a lot of the big shops and looked at what was working for them, as you mentioned earlier in this podcast about getting ideas from other companies, and we still do that. So one of the things a lot of people don't know is we still have visitors come in. Well, we had visitors this week. Almost every week we have people that are in here now. They're coming and looking at us when we used to be the company that went out and looked at them, and that's such a compliment to what we've been able to achieve here together as a team. We've gone from, like you said when you started there was 50 people. When I started there was 11, and now I think we're closer to. I think you were light on the 150. I think it's closer to 200 now from what I heard yesterday. So man, we really appreciate all of the hard work that you've done, and
Thank you.
love to have you back on here and tell us about new ideas, because I know you'll be working on more stuff today. But yeah, you're a real blessing to the company and to the community, and I just wanted to let everybody see who was behind a lot of these great ideas. It would be negligent of me not to point out the fact that it's so much to do that you've now added some additional help on your team, and we now have a videographer now that is filming a lot of this stuff, and I'll have him on here soon so you guys can meet him as well. But wanted to thank you for coming on this morning, and just letting us see your smile and tell us about what we're doing here. So thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you
Yeah,
very
you
much.
bet.